It's another deadly Russian strike on Ukraine, this time on a kindergarten. 48 children inside are all safe, but traumatized. At least one adult died in this attack on the city of Kharkiv.
The children were very scared. They cried. We calmed them down. One girl had minor cuts. I provided first aid. We evacuated the children to the shelter and calmed them down as they were crying.
It was a similar story in the capital, Kyiv. Ukrainian officials said Wednesday that this attack killed 6 people, including 2 children, in and around the city. Talks between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russia's President Vladimir Putin about ending Russia's war in Ukraine are scrapped indefinitely. And residents here can't foresee peace anytime soon.
What sort of ceasefire can we talk about when people are dying just like that? There's just no way. Students were living here. There was no military personnel here.
The U.S. president is trying to put pressure on Moscow, though. Trump wants the front line frozen. And while he says he has good conversations with Putin, they don't produce results. So he's imposing fresh sanctions, this time on Russia's 2 biggest oil producers, Rosneft and Lukoil. Sanctions Trump hopes won't need to last long.
We would like to see them just take the line that has been formed over quite a long period of time and let's go home. Last week they had almost 8,000 soldiers killed. Many Russians were killed last week. Many Ukrainians were killed last week. We think it's ridiculous and would like to have it end.
Meanwhile, Putin spent parts of Wednesday overseeing a test of Russian nuclear forces' readiness.
Good afternoon, esteemed comrades. Today we have I stress, a scheduled training on management of nuclear forces, as the Minister of Defense has just reported. Let us start working.
Russia does these tests regularly, and they follow NATO's own annual nuclear drills earlier in the month. But these tests are useful as a reminder to the West that it's Moscow that has the world's biggest nuclear arsenal. So what's next? Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky supports the idea of a temporary freeze along the present front line. But Russia says no. It says Ukraine must disarm and hand over the land that Russia has taken, both non-starters for Ukraine. Are these latest U.S. sanctions likely to move the dial? The 2 targets are big producers. Rosneft alone accounts for around 40% of Russian oil and around 6% of the global supply. Still, some analysts think the sanctions won't change Putin's mind.
Even with shrinking oil revenues, which currently actually constitute about, energy revenues total, constitute about 30% of Russia's budget income, so that's significant. Nonetheless, that alone is unlikely to radically alter Putin's calculus just because he's been fighting it for a while.
And so Europe's deadliest war since World War II grinds on. The cancelled Trump-Putin summit is yet another false start, and the prospect of peace remains elusive as ever. Howard Chang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.